Ever had that eerie feeling of "I've been here before" while you were in a completely new place? That's déjà vu for you. This psychological phenomenon, known as déjà vu, is surprisingly common. About 2/3 of people around the globe have experienced this uncanny sensation at least once in their lives. The term déjà vu originates from quite literally translating to "already seen." It describes that peculiar sensation of feeling as though you've lived through a specific moment or scenario before. Despite being such a widespread experience, the exact cause of déjà vu remains a mystery. Some theories suggest it's linked to stress or lack of sleep, while others believe it's about how our brain processes and stores memories. One thing's for certain, though. Déjà vu experiences are often filled with a strong sense of familiarity, even if we can't quite pinpoint why. Now that we know what déjà vu is, let's delve into some interesting facts about it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel before you leave to continue exploring intriguing phenomena like this. Did you know the term déjà vu comes from French and it literally means already seen? That's right, this intriguing psychological phenomenon owes its name to the language of love. In the early 20th century, French philosopher and psychologist Émile Boirac coined this term to describe the uncanny feeling of familiarity in a new or unfamiliar situation. It's like walking into a room for the first time, yet feeling like you've been there before. It's a momentary glitch in your reality, a fleeting sense of been there, done that. But here's the twist. You haven't. It's a false sense of recognition, a memory that doesn't exist. So the next time this happens, remember you're not alone. About 2/3 of the global population have experienced déjà vu at some point in their lives. So next time you experience déjà vu, remember you're basically having a been there, done that moment. Ever notice that déjà vu often occurs when you're stressed or fatigued? It's not just you. Many researchers believe there's a connection. Picture this. You've been burning the midnight oil, and suddenly you're struck by this inexplicable feeling of familiarity, déjà vu. But why does this happen? Some theories suggest that when we're tired or under pressure, our brain tries to find patterns to make sense of our surroundings. It's a kind of mental shortcut, and in this rush, it might mistakenly trigger a sensation that we've seen it all before. It's like your brain is on autopilot, conjuring up a sense of familiarity, even when there's none to be found. And while the jury is still out on the exact cause of déjà vu, these findings do give us food for thought. So maybe that been there, done that feeling is just your brain telling you to take a break. Déjà vu and memory are closely linked, even though we don't fully understand how. The connection between memory and déjà vu is indeed a fascinating one. Theories suggest that déjà vu might be related to how our brain processes and stores memories. Some researchers propose that déjà vu occurs when there's a slight delay in information reaching one side of the brain. So it's processed twice, once on each hemisphere, but with a tiny lag. This gives us the illusion that we've experienced the event before. Others believe déjà vu could be our brain checking its memory systems. It's like a system check to ensure we're remembering things correctly. It's not that we've experienced the event before, but rather, our brain is testing the memory circuits to ensure they're working as they should. While these theories are intriguing, they're still just theories. Our brains are incredibly complex, and so is the phenomenon of déjà vu. During déjà vu, people often experience what are known as pseudo-memories. Now, what exactly are pseudo-memories? Well, these are illusions of memories. They can feel incredibly real, so much so that you might be convinced that you've lived the situation before. But here's the catch. It's impossible that you have. They're not recollections of experiences you've had, but rather a misfiring in your brain's memory systems. This can be a bit mind-bending, but think of it this way. Your brain is like a library. Normally, it does a fantastic job of cataloging your experiences. But sometimes, during déjà vu, it misfiles a new experience as an old memory. This creates the illusion that the experience is a repeat. So, even if it's impossible that you've lived that moment before, your brain can make you believe otherwise. Déjà vu is often linked to the past, but did you know there's a similar phenomenon for future situations? This is known as jamais vu, a French term meaning never seen. It's a peculiar feeling where familiar situations seem completely new or alien. Picture this, you're reading a book and suddenly a common word appears utterly foreign as though you've never seen it before. That's jamais vu for you. This intriguing psychological experience flips the déjà vu concept on its head. Instead of feeling like we've lived through a new situation before, we feel like we're encountering a familiar situation for the very first time. It's like the world has pressed a reset button on our recognition. Researchers believe jamais vu might result from a brief lapse in our brain's recognition ability, causing a momentary disconnect with reality. So in essence, déjà vu and jamais vu are two sides of the same coin. Déjà vu has been linked to epilepsy in some cases. Now that might sound strange, but let's delve into it. Epilepsy, a neurological disorder, often brings about seizures and unusual experiences. One of these experiences can be déjà vu. In fact, scientists have identified a connection between déjà vu and epileptic activity in the temporal lobe of the brain. The temporal lobe is a crucial region where our brain processes sensory input and creates memories. So, when a seizure occurs in this area, it might trigger a sense of déjà vu. It's like a glitch in the brain's memory system, creating a false impression of familiarity. However, it's important to note that experiencing déjà vu doesn't necessarily mean you have epilepsy. It's just one of the many fascinating ways that this phenomenon manifests in our lives. Déjà vu can be more than just a mysterious feeling. It can also be a symptom. Déjà vu has been a recurring theme in literature and film, often used to create a sense of mystery or premonition. This fascinating phenomenon has found its way into the heart of storytelling, adding an eerie layer of complexity to plots. In literature, authors such as Philip K. Dick and Ian Fleming have used déjà vu to heighten suspense and deepen character development. On the silver screen, directors like Christopher Nolan have employed the concept to craft intricate narratives, as seen in the film Inception. Whether it's a character experiencing a feeling of being here before, or a plot twist that hinges on a moment of uncanny familiarity, déjà vu infuses stories with a touch of the surreal. It asks us, the readers or viewers, to question our own experiences of reality. From mystery to premonition, déjà vu serves as an intriguing plot device. One of the most puzzling aspects of déjà vu is the strong sense of familiarity without a clear context. Imagine walking into a room and feeling like you've been there before, even though it's your first visit. This is the disorienting dance of déjà vu. You're caught in a tug-of-war between what your senses tell you and what your memory insists. This is just like trying to catch smoke with your hands. If you're enjoying this explanation, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Back to the topic. The scene feels familiar, but the where and the when are just out of reach. This feeling can be so strong that it stops you in your tracks as you try to unravel the mystery of this misplaced memory. Researchers believe this misfiring in our brain's memory system is what causes this sensation. So, déjà vu can make you feel like you're in a familiar place, even when you can't place why. Thanks for tuning in. While the term déjà vu is French, similar phenomena are described in other cultures. For instance, the Greeks referred to this sensation as paramnesia, while the Romans coined the term anamnesis. Both terms encapsulate the feeling of remembering something that may not have actually occurred. In Japan, the term natsukashi captures a similar sentiment, although it is more closely related to nostalgia or longing for the past. The Japanese believe that this feeling is not just a psychological occurrence but also a spiritual one, hinting at past lives or reincarnation. On the other side of the globe, Native American tribes such as the Hopi and Zuni also describe a similar phenomenon. For them, these experiences are spiritual messages from ancestors or the spirit world. In the end, it seems that déjà vu, or whatever term you prefer, is a universal experience. So, regardless of where you're from or what language you speak, you're likely to experience this intriguing phenomenon. So, we've covered a lot of ground about déjà vu today. It's a common psychological phenomenon, with roughly 2/3 of people experiencing it at some point in their lives. The term itself hails from France, meaning already seen, which perfectly encapsulates that eerie sense of familiarity we experience during these moments. We've talked about how déjà vu might be linked to stress, fatigue, and the way our brains process and store memories, leading to pseudo-memories. We've also touched upon jamais vu, the intriguing opposite of déjà vu, where familiar situations feel uncannily new. Furthermore, we've explored déjà vu's association with epileptic activity, its recurring presence in literature and film, and the inexplicable familiarity we feel without a clear context. We've even looked at how other cultures perceive this phenomenon using terms like paramnesia or anamnesis. Next time you experience déjà vu, you'll have plenty of fun facts to ponder over. Remember, your brain works in mysterious ways.